I mean, it came out years ago that tens of billions of dollars a year is spent domestically and internationally to implant globalist messages, corporatist messages in movies and TV, in news, and in newspapers and radio. And the jig is up. They know people are aware of that. So I would tell the State Department, stop lying, stop engaging in disinformation, stop attacking freedom, stop attacking other sovereign nations, stop being propaganda, stop being modern Joseph Goebbels Nazi propaganda ministers, and people might start thinking of you as trustworthy sources. You guys use the public faith and abused it to the point of, if you even tell the truth, no one believes you. I mean, if the U.S. government-controlled media tells the public the sky is blue, they think it's red. If they tell people something's up, folks think it's down. If it's black, it's white. No one believes this Orwellian propaganda system anymore. Okay, folks, so there was just a snippet of the 15 minutes I did on Russia Today last night, transmitted all over the world. And that doesn't mean that other foreign-controlled media is completely trustworthy either. We have to study it all and basically sort through it ourselves. But how many times has this so-called government lied to us? How many times has this so-called government-controlled media been caught trying to divide and conquer the population? Okay, let me get into some economic news. Then I'm going to get into the TSA, and then we're going to open the phones up. In fact, the phones are open right now on this live Friday edition. The toll-free number is 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. You're welcome to call in on any subject, any item, but have your question or comment quickly, because I'm long-winded and we'll never get to the next person. So please have your points ready, and when I go to you, you're going to be on air. People are always like, am I on air? Am I on air? Yes, you're on air. Please have your radios off, because I want people to be able to hear you, too. 800-259-9231. Now, here is the BBC. Oil prices rise as Libyan tensions grow. It's continuing, and oil rose by more than $1 as fighting in Libya intensified amid reports of protests in Saudi Arabia, oil production's eastern region. It's up for April delivery. This is what's important. The futures are way up to $115.93 a barrel. Oil wealth must be shared by citizens, says Soros. He means he wants international groups to control it all, so he gets to share it with himself. He's going to take good care of you when he's not busy trying to bankrupt countries by design. I mean, what a sick joke, watching him masquerade around like some type of humanitarian. Continuing with the North African situation, Gaddafi army shells Zawiya, casualties with the rebels. The Libyan army has staged a prolonged artillery barrage of the city west of Tripoli, and there have been many casualties. A rebel spokesman said there have been heavy shelling by Gaddafi's forces, and we're hearing of many casualties. How many, I don't know. Mustafa Garani, a spokesman for the rebel group, said just a few days ago. Okay, continuing here. U.S. Libyan policy, zero legitimacy. And this is an article at prisonplanet.com breaking down what a fraud it is and how they are trying to gear up to at least back the rebels militarily, if not invade the country. So that's just some of the news that we have on that front. Continuing with this information. On the economic front, I do want to hear from listeners about the big story we covered yesterday, that a whole gaggle of big marquee mainstream media sources are now heralding that the death of the dollar is nigh. The death of the dollar is the world reserve currency. You'll still have dollars. They'll just be based basically and controlled by the private central banking cartel via the IMF World Bank under SDR rubrics. But it says why the dollar's reign is near an end, and it goes on to report the single most astonishing fact about foreign exchange is not high volume of transactions, as incredible as the growth has been, nor is it the volatility of currency rates or the volatility of currency rates, as wild as the markets are these days. Instead, it's the extent to which the market remains dollar-centric. And then they go through the fact that the world is moving away from the dollar, and that the end of the dollar is a foregone conclusion, and that that's natural, and that that's basically a good thing. This is tyranny designed from within our own government to basically bankrupt us as vassals of the globalist. And we've laid this out for more than a decade, what was coming, and we're now approaching it, and the media is acting like the end of the dollar hegemony is actually a good thing when it is going to be an economic Armageddon when it finally implodes. So we'll talk more about that. Your phone calls, the latest on the federal takeover of America via the TSA rolling out on the streets. Forbes and others are now finally telling the truth about the situation.
Never buy home canning jar lids again. No kidding. When you buy Tadler reusable canning lids once, you'll never buy canning lids ever again. Safely store emergency preparedness foods for years. Traditional metal lids are single-use throwaways containing BPA. But Tadler reusable canning lids are guaranteed to last a lifetime when used as designed for home canning. Tadler lids are made with a USDA and FDA-approved food-grade plastic, safe for direct food contact, and contain no BPA. Tadler lids are dishwasher safe, usable with standard pressure or water bath canning, eliminate food spoilage from acid corrosion, fit standard mason jars, are indefinitely reusable, and are proudly made in the USA. Place orders at reusablecanninglids.com or call 1-877-747-2793. 877-747-2793. Call 877-747-2793 or go to reusablecanninglids.com. That's reusablecanninglids.com for Tadler reusable canning lids, the original since 1976.
America, you've been warned. For weeks, we've been warning you about a single event we believe will happen in the next 12 months that will shake the very foundations of our nation. We've told you about the video that details this shocking prediction. So far, over 6 million people have watched this free video online. Have you? Again, this big event has nothing to do with war or the stock market, yet it could change everything about your normal way of life. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your family. Could this really happen? Well, the man who created this video has been right about many predictions in his career. He was among the first to predict the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. If you haven't taken time to watch this free video, do it right now. You may never think about America the same way again. You can find the free video at endofamerica3.com. Again, that's www.endofamerica3.com. Watch the free video at endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com.
HempUSA.org has a revolutionary wonder food for detoxing the body and rebuilding the immune system. Microplant powder can help unclog arteries and soften heart valves while removing heavy metals, virus, fungus, bacteria, and parasites. Plus, it cleans and purifies the blood, lungs, stomach, and colon. Keep your body clean with Microplant powder. Visit us at HempUSA.org or call 908-691-2608 today.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
If you suffer from poor sleep, you need MyPillow. Guaranteed to be the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Using a patented fill, MyPillow adjusts to your exact individual needs by gently supporting your head, shoulders, and neck. MyPillow has a natural built-in cooling effect, keeping your cervical nerves cool, giving you the best sleep of your life. MyPillow will never go flat and relieves snoring, migraines, sleep apnea, fibromyalgia, and many other disorders. It's antimicrobial, non-allergenic, dust mite resistant, and best of all, machine washable and dryable. MyPillow is made in the USA, has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau, comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee and an industry-leading 10-year warranty. Order today at MyPillow.com or call 952-442-6199. That's 952-442-6199. Mention coupon code GCN and receive 20% off your order. What do you have to lose except poor sleep? MyPillow.com, the most comfortable pillow you will ever own, guaranteed.
Coming up later in the hour, I'm going to get into the huge new TSA developments as the public completely turns against them and the admission that this is a federal power grab takeover by nothing more than modern brown shirts. I'm not saying every TSA person's bad individually. A lot of them ask for an autograph or shake my hand wherever I fly. But a lot of them are sociopath control freaks who enjoy the illegitimate power they've been given. I want to get more into the economy, more into what's happening in Libya. But so we actually get to some of your phone calls, which I always enjoy hearing from you and the different questions and directions you take us in. I'm going to go ahead and go to your phone calls now. But in the next segment, I'm going to make a very important announcement. So please stay with us for that at the start of the next segment coming up here in just a few minutes. Let's talk to Scott in Mass. You're on the air, Scott. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Mr. Jones. How are you?
I'm okay. Pretty tired, but okay.
I'd like to say that we're in a depression. Our economy is crumbling. Look, Goldman Sachs, Bear Stearns, the Rothschilds, and other greedy and evil international Jewish bankers on Wall Street have destroyed our economy, Mr. Jones. And not only have they destroyed our economy, but the Federal Reserve Bank was founded by Paul Warburg, which is a Jewish invention. And that doesn't even include the wars that are raging in Iraq and Afghanistan, which I blame on the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. We were attacked, by the way, on 9/11 because of the over $10 billion the U.S. gives to Israel annually in military and economic aid.
Okay, so Scott, let me say something here, okay? Because we don't screen your calls. Did we screen your call?
Say that again?
Did we screen your call?
No.
Okay, because the people that lie and claim I work for Israel or something, that's their favorite thing to say all the calls are fake. This is not a fake phone call right now. You just called in, we're put on air. But I just want to get that out of the way, that these are real phone calls here on air. Sir, I am against the corruption of the British government. I'm against the corrupt things that the Israeli government does. I'm against the corrupt things that the Chinese government does. And I criticize Israel on a routine basis. And I heard these calls a few days ago when I had a stomach bug and had to go off air, and Watson was filling in. And I heard people calling in saying this. And I know it's wrong to go with the age-old idea that all evil on earth flows from Jews. Now, are there corrupt, evil bankers that are Jewish? Are there corrupt people pushing culture-destroying things that happen to be Jewish in Hollywood? Yes. But to sit there and then say that all the ills in the world are caused by Jews is wrong. Jews are a very diverse, wide group of people who have a lot of different political ideas. And every time I talk about the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, people then say, well, the Rockefellers are Jewish too. Not true. The Rothschilds, certainly they are. But when I talk about the Queen of England being corrupt and being ultra wealthy, she suspended the parliament 2 years ago twice in Canada. She runs 20-plus commonwealths. When I talk about Queen Beatrix, who's super high-powered and at the heart of the world government and more wealthy than the Rockefellers, people say, quit covering up for Israel just because I cover all the big corrupt forces that are out there. I mean, are you saying, sir, that every evil in the New World Order is flowing out of Jews?
Mr. Jones, and to prove it, if you don't believe me, have all your listeners pick up a book and read called The Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. It is not a hoaxer. It is not a forgery that the Jews maintain. The gist of it is that the Jews are out for world domination, and they have it now in the United States.
I never get what forgery means. I mean, why do people say forgery? You mean it would be a fake or it would be a frame-up, but a forgery just means that you copied a signature or something. I don't even get what that means.
Let me explain. The Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, the Jews have always claimed was forged by the Tsarist secret police.
Yeah, I thought it. Well, I mean, it's written like a comic book. I mean, why would anybody write something down like that?
But it's real. And Henry Ford, who's my hero in the International Jew during the 1920s, I'm sure you're familiar with Mr. Ford, he made the Protocols famous, and in the International Jew, he pretty much